Have you ever caught a whiff of something not quite fresh and wondered if it was coming from you? That moment when you're sitting with your grandchildren or chatting with a friend at the grocery store, and suddenly you're second-guessing yourself, pulling your sweater closer, hoping no one else notices what you think you might be smelling? If you've nodded along to any of this, let me tell you something important. You are not alone, and you are not imagining things. This is one of those topics that makes many of us squirm in our chairs, but it shouldn't. Because the truth is, that persistent urine-like odor that some of us notice isn't a natural part of aging, and it's certainly not something you just have to live with. I've spent years talking with women just like you, women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, who've whispered to me about this very concern. Women who shower daily, who keep clean homes, who take pride in their appearance, but still find themselves worrying about an unwelcome scent that seems to follow them around. And what I've learned is this: it's almost never about being dirty or careless. Instead, it's usually about small, fixable habits that most of us never even think about.
Today, we're going to walk through 6 common mistakes that can leave even the cleanest, most careful woman dealing with that embarrassing urine smell. These aren't personal failures or signs that you're not taking good enough care of yourself. They're simply patterns that many of us fall into without realizing how they're working against our body's natural balance. Maybe you've tried everything you can think of: extra showers, different soaps, more perfume, avoiding certain activities, but that faint, sour scent still seems to linger, making you feel self-conscious when you should be feeling confident and comfortable in your own skin. The beautiful thing is, once you know what to look for, these problems are surprisingly easy to address. We're talking about small changes that can make a tremendous difference in how you feel about yourself and how you move through your day. Let's start with something that might surprise you. One of the biggest culprits behind that lingering urine smell has to do with those helpful little products many of us rely on: incontinence pads and liners. Now, don't get me wrong, these are wonderful inventions that give us freedom and confidence, but here's what happens when we wear them a little too long.
Picture this. You put on a fresh pad in the morning, maybe have a tiny leak during your coffee, but the pad still feels mostly dry, so you think, why waste a perfectly good one? Hours pass, you're busy with your day, and you forget all about changing it. But even that small amount of moisture sitting warm against your body becomes a playground for bacteria. Those bacteria don't need much to get started. Just a little warmth, a little moisture, and they begin breaking down whatever urine is there, releasing those sharp ammonia-like compounds that create that unmistakable smell. The pad might look fine from the outside, but it's actually trapping that odor against your skin and clothes. I remember chatting with a lovely woman named Linda, who was 72 and always looked put together. She told me she'd started avoiding her bridge club because she was worried about her scent. After we talked, she realized she was wearing the same pad from breakfast until dinner time. Once she started changing them every few hours, and immediately after any little accident, she felt like a new person. It was like getting my life back, she told me. I didn't realize how much I'd been limiting myself over something I could actually fix. Another thing that might be working against you is something that seems completely logical at first glance. Many women start drinking less water during the day, thinking that fewer fluids mean fewer trips to the bathroom and fewer chances for accidents. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? But here's the thing your body does when it doesn't get enough water.
When you're even mildly dehydrated, your urine becomes much more concentrated. It's darker, thicker, and significantly stronger smelling. So even if you have just a tiny leak, that concentrated urine carries a much more powerful odor that clings to everything it touches: your clothing, your skin, even the chair you've been sitting in. What's happening is that your body is still producing waste, but without enough water to dilute it properly, everything becomes more potent. And that concentrated urine doesn't just smell worse,
it's also harsher on your delicate skin, which can lead to irritation and even more odor problems. I met a sweet woman named Betty who was 78 and had gotten into the habit of barely sipping water all day because she was terrified of accidents. She thought she was being smart and cautious, but when her daughter gently suggested she tried drinking small amounts throughout the day, especially a full glass when she woke up, everything began to shift. Her urine became lighter, that sharp smell faded away, and she even noticed her skin looked healthier. I was so afraid of water for years, she told me, but I never realized that avoiding it was actually making everything worse. You don't need to gulp down huge amounts all at once. Just steady, gentle sips throughout the day. Keep a small water bottle or glass nearby, and remember that staying properly hydrated actually helps your body function better in every way, including keeping you fresher and more comfortable. Now, here's something that might not have crossed your mind, but it could be making a bigger difference than you realize. Sometimes, no matter how carefully you manage everything else, that persistent urine smell just won't budge. When that happens, the real problem might be something invisible, something happening inside your body that you can't address with better hygiene or clothing choices.
Hidden bladder infections are far more common in women over 60 than most people know. As our bodies age, our immune systems don't always send us the clear warning signals they used to. You know those obvious signs of a UTI that younger women get? The burning, the urgency, the uncomfortable pressure? Well, sometimes those symptoms are so mild or different that we don't even notice them. What we do notice is that strong ammonia-like smell that seems to cling to us no matter what we do. It's actually one of the few ways our body can tell us something's not quite right. The infection might be so low level that you feel perfectly fine otherwise, but that bacterial imbalance is creating odors that linger on your clothes, your sheets, even in the air around you. I'll never forget Marlene, a vibrant 76-year-old who had tried absolutely everything to solve her odor concerns. She changed her routine, bought different products, even changed her diet, but nothing helped. During a regular checkup, almost as an afterthought, her doctor ran a simple urine test and discovered a mild UTI that Marlene never would have suspected. After just a short course of antibiotics, the smell disappeared completely. "I had no idea I even had an infection," she said. "I just thought it was me getting older." This is especially common if you're dealing with diabetes, taking certain medications, or have any mobility issues that might make it harder to empty your bladder completely. All of these factors create conditions where bacteria can grow more easily, leading to those stubborn odors that seem impossible to eliminate, no matter how much you focus on surface cleanliness. If you've been trying everything else and still struggling, it's absolutely worth having a conversation with your doctor. A simple test could reveal something you never would have thought to look for. And getting it treated doesn't just clear up the smell, it helps you feel stronger and more like yourself again. Another thing I've noticed is how the clothes we choose each day can either help us stay fresh or work against us without us even realizing it. Many of us reach for our most comfortable, familiar outfits, but sometimes those cozy favorites are actually trapping heat and moisture in ways that make odor problems much worse. Think about those snug-fitting pants or undergarments made from stretchy, synthetic materials. They might look great and feel supportive, but fabrics like polyester, nylon, or spandex don't breathe the way natural fibers do. When you're wearing them, especially around your pelvic area, they create this warm, enclosed environment where any little bit of moisture has nowhere to go. If you have even the tiniest leak during the day, or if you just naturally run a bit warm, that trapped humidity becomes like a greenhouse for bacteria. And those synthetic fabrics, they hold on to odors in a way that cotton or bamboo simply don't. Even after washing, they can still carry traces of smell that come back to life as soon as your body warms them up again. I remember talking with Diane, a lovely 70-year-old who was so frustrated because she felt like no amount of washing could keep her feeling truly fresh. After we chatted about her daily routine, she realized she'd been wearing the same style of tight, stretchy leggings every single day for months. Once she switched to looser cotton pants and started alternating her undergarments with more breathable materials, she felt like a completely different person. It was like lifting a fog I didn't even know was there, she told me. Your body needs to breathe, especially in those delicate areas. Choosing clothes that allow air to flow naturally isn't just more comfortable, it's one of the simplest ways to stay feeling confident and fresh throughout your day. Now here's something that might sound basic, but it's one of the most overlooked aspects of staying odor-free. Even women who are meticulous about their personal care sometimes miss the specific attention that intimate areas need, especially as our bodies change over the years. The thing is, general washing during your regular shower might not be addressing the real source of lingering smells. The folds and gentle curves of your pelvic area can hold on to traces of urine and bacteria that a quick rinse just doesn't reach. But here's the key. You don't need harsh scrubbing or fancy products. In fact, those can make things worse by drying out your skin and throwing off your body's natural balance. What works best is surprisingly simple: warm water and a soft cloth, used gently but consistently. If you're someone who uses pads or has occasional leaks, a quick, gentle cleansing partway through the day can make all the difference in the world. Think of it like washing your hands, but for an area that needs just as much attention. I spoke with June, an 82-year-old who is using perfumed soaps and powders, trying everything she could think of to feel fresh. The harder she scrubbed, the more irritated her skin became, and the worse the odor seemed to get. When she simplified her approach to just gentle rinsing with warm water twice a day and thorough but gentle drying afterward, she was amazed at the difference. "I thought I needed to do more," she said, "but it turned out I just needed to be kinder to myself." The last thing I want to share with you might seem almost too simple, but it's one of those habits that can make or break how you feel about yourself each day. It's about something as basic as changing your underwear, but not in the way you might think. Many of us get comfortable with routines that worked when we were younger, but our bodies have different needs now. If you have even the smallest leak during the day, that moisture and any lingering odor can stay trapped in the fabric of your underwear, even if everything feels relatively dry. As the hours pass, body heat and movement can make those trapped smells more noticeable to you and potentially to others. The simple solution isn't to feel bad about needing to change more often. It's to embrace the fact that giving yourself fresh, clean underwear whenever you need it is one of the kindest things you can do for your confidence and comfort. Keep an extra pair in your purse or a nearby drawer. Think of it as a small gift you give yourself throughout the day. I want you to know that everything we've talked about today comes from a place of understanding and respect. These aren't personal failures or signs that you're not taking good care of yourself. They're simply small adjustments that can make an enormous difference in how you feel as you move through your days. You deserve to walk into any room feeling confident and comfortable in your own skin. You deserve to hug your grandchildren, sit close to friends, and enjoy social activities without that nagging worry in the back of your mind. These solutions aren't complicated or expensive, but they are powerful. Whether it's changing a pad more frequently, drinking that extra glass of water, checking with your doctor about a possible infection, choosing clothes that let your body breathe, being gentle with your intimate care, or simply giving yourself the gift of fresh underwear when you need it, each small step is an act of self-respect and self-care. You've lived a full life, learned countless lessons, and earned the right to feel dignified and comfortable every single day. There's no shame in any of this, only solutions, and the quiet strength that comes from taking care of yourself with wisdom and kindness. What resonated most with you today? Was there something that made you think, I hadn't considered that?
or perhaps a gentle reminder of something you've been meaning to address. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences and insights matter, not just to me, but to other women who might be facing the same quiet concerns. Remember, you're never too old to make today better than yesterday. Every small change you make is a step toward feeling more like yourself again. Let's keep taking care of ourselves and each other with grace, understanding, and the knowledge that we all deserve to feel our very best, no matter what stage of life we're in.